Al-Ward is a Middle Eastern celebratory drink made with pomegranate, rose water, and carbonation. It's noted for being non-alcoholic, which makes it especially visible in a country where champagne is not used at major celebrations. The drink often appears in media coverage around a major event held each year. Which country is it associated with, and why does it stand out? This was our audience question for episode number 145. A question that I will answer at the end of the episode. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Are You Quizzing Me? Cue the music. Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a very, very special episode, because we have a very, very special guest.
Before we introduce the guest quizmaster for our episode, we also need to acknowledge who was the first person to answer SMAQ number 144, SMAC 144, which is the social media audience question from our previous episode, which was episode 144. Alright, so before I tell you who got it right, let me tell you what the question was. As always, a visual question. In this case, it was a picture of a bust or a statue, and the question mentions that it is located in Prague. It's a famous historical figure's bronze bust. The question was, who was honored in Prague with this bronze bust, and bonus points for naming the street where it is located. We have two people who we need to acknowledge today, unlike usually when we acknowledge the first person to answer. In this case, the first person to answer was Ravi Subramanian, and the first person to give me the bonus question, which was which street is it located at, was Vrinda Verma. So thank you, Ravi, and thank you, Vrinda, for answering this question. All right. Let's get back to our episode and to our guest quizmaster.
So, Aditya, why don't you introduce him?
Today, joining us for Are You Quizzing Me is one of the minds behind Reading Room India. In the past, we have had Aishwarya as well, who is also one of the other people behind that amazing Instagram page. If you're not following it right now, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Go look it up on Instagram, follow them for some top tier quality content. Both Vineet and I, when we first realized that the other person follows the page, were quite upset because that meant that a huge source of trivia was lost to us. It's such a wonderful mine of trivia. And we both knew that the other person was reading the same thing. So we couldn't ask each other those questions. Regardless, you should go check it out. Fantastic information. Some very, very pertinent current affairs. Some very unexpected, obscure information that will probably be something you'll tell your friends at the next dinner party. It's one of those four sources. So go check it out. There's also an amazing newsletter that you can sign up for. But here's the fun twist. As you would have realized by now, I have not mentioned our guest's name, and that was intentional because our guest would rather remain anonymous. He prefers being behind the scenes, doing all the deep dives and research into all those amazing posts you see on Instagram, and yet does not care for fame. So we had to come up with a nickname, and because it is Reading Room India, throughout this episode, I will be referring to him as Reader. I'm sure he reads a lot, so that's the name. Welcome. Thank you, Reader, for coming on board.
Hey, thank you, Vineet. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you so much for having me here. Pleasure to be here. Excited to see how much I can sort of guess, because generally I'm a guy who goes on research a lot. So yeah, I don't think I have enough time for that.
No, we will, I'm sure we'll be dazzled. Okay. Do you have a question you want to start with? You want to set us off with one of your questions first?
All right, cool. So this game started off in India, and it was named after the Indian city where it was born. But then the world knows it by a completely different name. And India has had a lot of success recently over here. In the 70s and 80s, it was very few and far between. What's the game that we're talking about? Two people can play it, and you can have a doubles as well.
Okay. I think Vineet knew the answer the moment you started it. I think the singles and doubles probably gives me a strong clue there. I am going to say... Okay, before I tell you the game, I'm going to guess if the city is correct. Is it Pune is the city in question.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Then I'm guessing it is badminton.
Yeah. So now, why is it called badminton?
Ooh.
Oh, that is new. Okay. Yeah. No, because I don't know if it made it to the final cut of one of the episodes, but I had mentioned this a couple of episodes back to Aditya, where there was a different question about this. And I mentioned word about Pune and badminton. But why is it called badminton?
That's a fun addendum. I like it.
Why is the game called badminton? Okay.
I'm guessing because of the time frame. Is there any Englishman who had some name it sounded like badminton associated or something like that?
Yeah, I'm also going to guess that this is similar to Sandwich.
Close. It was the Earl of Sandwich.
Yeah, it was the Earl of Sandwich, yeah.
But here, he's not an Earl or a Lord or a Lady or a Duke of something.
But are we close when you say last name, an English last name?
No, an English name, for sure, but not the last name.
Okay. First name badminton. Oh, that's interesting.
What comes to mind right now is there's an Agatha Christie novel by the name The Secret of Chimneys.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, Chimneys is not the name of the architectural structure. Chimneys is the name of the house.
Okay.
Close, very close.
So is that like a badminton estate or the badminton
estate?
Oh, okay, great.
Oh, wow.
Once it moved from Pune, where it was actually called Pune, so the game would have been called Pune instead of badminton. Yeah. It went to England, and the Duke of Beaufort, his estate was called the Badminton Estate. And that was where the rules were finalized, and it's called badminton.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane.
Okay, nice.
Unlimited potential for trivia always. I'm just going to add on something here. This is going to be a question for one of my future episodes, but I'll just add on to it. P.G. Wodehouse, I know Vineet loves him, and I'm sure you have also read some of it. His cat was called Pune. And again, Pune, I think in Tamil, is cat.
Pune. Yeah.
Pune, yeah.
So people speculate that he has never given a reason, but because he loved his puns and multilingual puns. And the other connection to Pune from Wodehouse's life would be his brother used to teach in Pune University or some other university in Pune at some point. Yeah. Nice. Associated with a very famous person in Pune. And I will have to look that up. But you know what? I'll leave that for our audience to figure out. There's a very famous Indian philosopher or theologian who P.G. Wodehouse's brother tutored while he was in Pune. That is potentially some connection to how P.G. Wodehouse knew the word Pune. His cat was called Pune. So yeah, I remember reading this as a piece of trivia somewhere. Oh, but fantastic question. I love the badminton estate hub. So cool.
So Pune and badminton people get, but the second part is...
Nice. Very nice. All right. Vineet, you want to take the next question?
I'm going to shift a little bit towards, history as usual. We are going back to the 1971 Indo-Pak War. The Pakistan Air Force evacuated its aircraft from its forward bases near the Indian border to safer locations in the rear vanguard. However, they forgot to inform a prominent American military advisor who was stationed in Islamabad. And that led to him leaving his Pentagon-supplied twin-engine Beechcraft parked on the tarmac at Chakala Air Base. On the morning of December 4th, 1971, during a retaliatory strike, a young Indian Navy lieutenant on deputation to the IAF named Arun Prakash, who would later on become the Chief of Naval Staff, spotted the light aircraft and destroyed it with cannon fire. The American advisor was utterly enraged, convinced that the attack was a targeted insult orchestrated by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. He reportedly drafted a furious cable to Washington demanding immediate countermeasures against India. He later wrote in his autobiography that the destruction of his plane was the Indian way of giving Uncle Sam the finger. I want you to identify this military advisor.
The military advisor is American, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Americans were allied with Pakistan at the time. They had a military advisor advising the Pakistani Air Force at the time. Prominent enough to have an ego and to also have the ear of the president.
Okay.
Henry Kissinger?
No, Kissinger was a statesman. Yes, he was a statesman. He was not a military man. But you're in the right time frame. Kissinger was part of the initial deterrent negotiations that the Americans did have with India. But
this is the 70s, so I was thinking it could be J. Edgar Hoover, but I think it's a little late for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a military advisor with his own plane. That's. I would advise you to think in that aspect. Not somebody obscure. You definitely know this person's name.
Was he a general?
A brigadier general, yes.
Brigadier. I want to say McNamara because he.
No, not McNamara. Not McNamara.
Oh.
This question is officially too smart for me now.
he was on the ship that the Russians sort of blocked.
Yeah, not McNamara.
You know what? I think if both of us are stuck, we need to give us a hint.
Okay, so this person is known to practically most quizzes, especially from the 90s, because I keep telling Aditya that I kind of miss sometimes the kind of quizzing we had in the 90s where it wasn't all clues and context and everything. You actually had to know the answer. So this person was the answer to a record-breaking achievement.
Record-breaking achievement, military person, American. Can't be anybody, I don't know, very random I'm thinking. Can't be anybody associated to the Manhattan Project, right?
Oh, no, not the Manhattan Project, no.
Too late for them, yeah.
This guy is legendary in that his demeanor and the way he did things inspired generations of people who came after him. But there has also been a lot of speculation that even though that kind of demeanor worked for him and that kind of attitude worked for him, it might have been, how do I put this, not so great for the performances of the people who came after him, who tried to emulate him. There's a very famous book about him. He's immortalized in a book.
Oh, wow. Who's this person? Okay, let's do the clues. Okay, brigadier general, military person, some famous record.
And in the 1970s.
70s.
He became famous much before that. He just was around in the 1970s. He was famous much before that.
Was he a commander during World War II?
I don't know his exact rank, but yes, he was around during World War II. The thing that you know him for is something that he did in 1947.
1947.
I'm telling you, like this guy's name was a staple answer. Like there was this kind of question that you would always ask in school quizzes in the early 90s and the mid 90s. This guy was the answer to that. That's how I know him. That's how I first heard of him.
Is he famous for something else also? Like, is he also a famous entertainment personality or
no,
something?
Nothing like that. No. You're thinking of somebody like Reagan or something, but no, this is not.
Yeah, I'm thinking something like that. Okay.
Someone who had Richard Nixon's year from 1947.
Okay, have I told you that he's a pilot?
You had not mentioned he's a pilot.
No.
Yeah, I thought kind of he having his own plane, but yes, he was a pilot.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you one more clue. This is the phrase most commonly associated with him and the name of the book which famously immortalized him.
Mm-hmm.
The Right Stuff.
So it sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not able to pinpoint who it
Kennedy?
is.
He's not a Kennedy. No, not a Kennedy. No. Kennedy's was Profiles in Courage, if I'm not mistaken.
No. Any last hint? Otherwise, tell us the answer. I was completely stumped here.
I'll tell you what he's famous for. First pilot to break the sound barrier.
I should know this because I had posted about it sometime back.
This is how I know him. Like he's the guy who broke the sound barrier that was famously immortalized in Tom Wolfe's book, The Right Stuff. Years after, he had a very dry, laconic way of, dealing with stress. Like even when high stress situations, he'd be like, oh, very calm and cool and whatnot. And pilots emulated that. The kind of voices you hear from airplanes like, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain so-and-so flying so-and-so from so-and-so. That entire thing apparently was, a legacy from his way of delivering things. Yeah.
Okay. I'm nowhere close to guessing. I think you might have to give us the answer. Yeah.
Okay. So the answer is Chuck Yeager.
Chuck Yeager. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds familiar. Wait, isn't he the guy who got like ace in a day or something? Like he's the one who shot down.
Might be. I don't know of that particular achievement, but I know him for being the first pilot to break the sound barrier.
The only reason I know ace is 5 enemy aircraft shot down, and I think he was one of the first people, or he got it in one day or something like that.
Okay, possible. So, Brigadier General Charles Chuck Yeager, one of the most famous aviators in American history, celebrated for being the first pilot to break the sound barrier, was assigned to Islamabad, Pakistan, as the head of U.S. Military Assistance Advisory Group, also known as MAG, M-A-A-G.
Okay.
Yeah. He was highly sympathetic to the Pakistani military and very hostile towards India. Admiral Arun Prakash at the time was a young Indian Navy lieutenant. During the 1971 war, he was on deputation to the Indian Air Force, flying Hawker Hunter fighter jets with the number 20 squadron. He would later become Chief of Naval Staff between 2004 and 2006. Now, as tensions escalated and war was imminent, the Pakistani Air Force anticipated Indian retaliatory strikes, and so they evacuated their aircraft from forward bases all the way back to near the Iranian border. However, they forgot to inform Chuck Yeager. Because he was such a huge personality and so high up in the ranks, he possessed a personal Pentagon-supplied twin-engine Beechcraft Queen Air, which he used to ferry the US ambassador on fishing trips. This plane was left parked on the tarmac at Chakala Air Base. On the morning of December 4th, Lieutenant Arun Prakash and his wingman flew a low-level sortie over the airbase. Spotting the craft, they destroyed it with the 30mm cannons on their airplane. Prakash had absolutely no idea who the plane belonged to at the time. Yeager was famously enraged by the loss of his plane, and this incident was documented by Edward C. Ingraham, a US diplomat who served as political counselor to the US ambassador. In a 1985 article for the Washington Monthly titled "The Right Stuff in the Wrong Place," Ingraham recalled the aftermath. Yeager stormed into a staff meeting at the embassy, shouting at his cowering colleagues that the Indian pilot hadn't just hit a random target. Yeager insisted that Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had personally orchestrated the strike specifically to blast his plane. According to Ingraham, a furious top priority cable was drafted and sent to Washington, describing the strike as a deliberate affront to the American nation and recommending immediate countermeasures against India. Nixon, however, ignored the whole thing, and years later, in his own autobiography, Yeager recounted the incident, refusing to believe that it was a target of opportunity. He wrote that the destruction was the Indian way of giving Uncle Sam the finger. In 2007, Admiral Arun Prakash, by then retired as Navy Chief, wrote an article acknowledging that he was the pilot who had inadvertently blown up the supersonic Legend's plane.
Oh, man. Here's an additional piece of trivia for you, Vineet, specifically.
Okay.
What did the Marathi people say when they saw him coming?
I don't see it. Just put me out of my misery.
They said, Chak ala.
Ala re ala, chak ala. Oh, God. Okay. Nice.
Okay, cool.
Reader, why don't you go next?
One more on sport. Okay, since you mentioned P.G. Wodehouse. So, Arthur Conan Doyle, P.G. Wodehouse, Jerome K. A. Milne, all of these guys are very, very well-known writers, but they were also part of something very unique.
This question has appeared twice in our podcast, but you know what? Okay. No, I'll let you finish it. I'll let you finish it, and then you can take another question. Finish it, please. It's a fantastic piece of trivia. Finish it, please.
What's the name of the organization that they were a part of?
Cricket team called the Allahu Akbaris.
Allah Akbari.
Oh, it's such a... And I understand why, because Vineet has asked me this. Bertie Ashley, phenomenal quizmaster, he has asked me this, and now you're the third person. Okay. It's such a good piece of trivia. I love it. Okay.
If you spend 5 minutes with Aditya, you know that he's a lover of puns. He's a maker of puns.
Yes.
He's a lover of puns. All things funny. So Allahu Akbaris and J.M. Barrie, that whole thing tickled my fancy, and I was like, I have to ask this. And then Bertie asked the same question. Now we got the trifecta the first time. A question's been asked 3 times from another.
I love it. How about it? I will go with another question from a list.
Yeah.
So there was one Indian during World War II who was executed by the Nazis. Only one. Who was he? And how did he end up getting into that horrible situation?
One Indian executed by the Nazis.
Yeah. In Europe.
I am going to get so royally screwed by my friends. I will tell you why. I know what this is about, but for the life of me, I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay. So you cracked the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I'll give you a clue as to which state this guy comes from. And the clue is, wherever you go, it's a stereotype, racist stereotype, of course, but still, you will always find one chai wala from there.
Oh, God.
Okay.
India won the 2008, the first T20 World Cup because of this guy. I mean, because of one of these people.
You know why I'm going to get screwed for this, especially? One of my schoolmates from way back in 11th and 12th, he and like a group of our schoolmates basically wrote a play about this person and performed it in Bangalore. They performed it in Singapore multiple times. I've never been actually able to watch it. They've sent me the playbill, everything, and I cannot remember the guy's name. I'm just banging my head trying to remember his name.
Okay, even if you don't remember the name, what I'm curious about is why. Like, is there a special reason he was executed, or the reason is not
He
that?
was part of the resistance.
He was part of the French resistance.
The French resistance.
Okay. And he's famous just for this. I'm assuming there's no other famous.
I mean, he was a smart kid. When he was 20, he joined Gandhiji's Harijan, the whole thing to uplift Dalits and all of that.
Right.
So, but the thing is, he did it in a state which is still very casteist.
Okay. Anyways, you said the whole the 2008 World Cup thing.
Yeah.
And I know that is Sri Sant, so I'm assuming this is a Mallu person. And we have Vineet is our resident Mallu, so it's embarrassing doubly for you, Vineet, to not know this answer. Oh man,
What was his name?
No, so this is Vineet doesn't know the answer, and he has heard about it. Then I doubt I'm going to get it.
Okay.
Huh.
I remember the. One second. I'm suddenly remembering this. I had a beer with the writer of this, one of the co-writers of this play, in Bangalore. I'm trying to remember that conversation. Oh my God, Anil, I'm so sorry if you're listening to this, Anil and Srikanth. I'm so sorry.
I think you should just give him a letter. I feel like he's otherwise going to struggle.
Muchirota Madhavan.
Correct.
Oh.
Muchirota Madhavan.
So
very smart.
So this guy was a communist. Basically, he was a communist, and he was part of this thing, French Pondicherry, French Mahi, and because of that, he got a chance to go study in the Sorbonne or somewhere in France. And he met a girl there. He fell in love with her, and then when she joined the resistance, he went with her. And then they got captured by the Germans and then executed, making him the only Indian to be ever executed by the the Nazis.
Yeah, and like they were taken in two carriages in a train, and they were told that nothing's going to happen to you guys. But one carriage lot was executed, and the second carriage wasn't. So that's how we know about the first carriage of martyrs who were executed. And apparently, I don't know if this has happened, but in Mahe there was a road that was going to be named after him. As of 2024, it still hasn't happened. It's been some 80 years now.
That's so interesting, though. Like I'm actually surprised that there is only one Indian. I would have imagined that this is again because of big country. I would imagine maybe somebody else also would have been.
I'm sure a lot of them died in the war. Yeah, but they would be regular soldiers.
Yeah, you're talking about like a civilian who was killed in a concentration camp. Is that the specific?
So he never made it to a concentration camp.
Yeah, a part of the whole. Okay, not of course he didn't make it to the concentration camp, but yeah.
No, he wasn't killed in regular warfare.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Before we move on to the next question, I just wanted to plug my friend's play. The name of the play is Andithotam, which was written by Anil Rohit and directed by Srikanth Menon. Both of them batchmates of mine, and they performed it, I think, in Bangalore, in Trivandrum, and in Singapore. If it ever comes to a city near you, go catch it. I haven't watched it. Unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to watch it. I'm claiming geographical limitations here. They haven't come to be a city where I've been. So that's the thing. But it's also about, it's based on Muchirota Madhavan. Go watch it.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. Speaking of Indian history only, let's move from there itself. Everybody knows Vikram Sarabhai as the father of the Indian space program. He was a physicist. He was an astronomer. Born 1919, passed away 1971. Apart from his interests in science, which of course he contributed very famously and majorly to in the Indian context and of course beyond, Vikram Sarabhai was also interested in a bunch of other things. He set up the Ahmedabad Textile Industries Research Association to modernize India's textile sector. At this point, he was married to a famous classical dancer, Mrinalini. But when he set up this particular association, he met another lady, Kamla Chaudhary. Kamla was a friend of Mrinalini's and was close to both the people in the couple. However, at some point, Vikram and Kamla got close enough that it became almost as if they had their own thing going on. Now, details are sketchy as to what the exact nature of the relationship is, but suffice it to say it was fairly emotionally intimate for sure. Kamla, realizing that this was becoming very complicated, wanted to get herself out of that situation. She had planned to move to Delhi at some point. She's like, let me just get as far away from this whole complicated situationship, as kids might say. And in order to do that, she was going to move to Delhi. However, Vikram Sarabhai, a man of many means and political influence and let's say, ability to have things his own way, managed to do one thing in order to keep her close to him. He did not want her to go too far away. What did Vikram Sarabhai do to ensure that Kamla would not leave and go far away from him?
So I think I have a fair idea.
Yeah, I think because she was one of the first people who set up IIM Ahmedabad. That's what he did. He set up he got IIM Ahmedabad set up so that mera pyar nahi jana chahiye.
This episode is going by like a cracker. I love it. Yes, Vikram Sarabhai's, for lack of a better word, let's call it affair with Kamla Chaudhary is the alleged reason. I'm going to caveat that there have been people who have claimed it, and they have said, but of course something like this is very difficult to. I'm sure Vikram Sarabhai was not like, oh, this is the only reason I'm going to vouch for this particular institute. So the first IIM was set up in Calcutta, and Bombay and Calcutta would have been the obvious choices at that point of time. So the first one was in Calcutta. The second one, when they were planning to set it up, they were involved with a bunch of American institutions who were planning to open up some sort of like a sister institute in India. And they were considering where to go. And Vikram Sarabhai famously lobbied for it to be in Ahmedabad, which is where he was. And IIM Ahmedabad was set up over there. People say that keeping her there, because she was, yes, like you said, the first faculty member at IIM Ahmedabad, to keep her in Ahmedabad was one of his main reasons. Cannot attest to a man's inner workings, but there is definitely, and it has been acknowledged that definitely there was some sort of intimate, let's say, connection between these two people. Malika Sarabhai, the very famous theatre practitioner, the daughter of Vikram Sarabhai, she has acknowledged it. However, she did say that, I don't think my dad did that just for her, and I think too much is being attributed to his desires. So one can only speculate what the reason was. But hey, fun piece of trivia that the first person who worked at IIM Ahmedabad, which was set up by Vikram Sarabhai, or he was a major proponent for it, also happened to be somebody he was having an affair with.
And shout out to Rocket Boys. They do show this part of it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the show. Then I guess maybe it's common knowledge. All right, fair enough.
Reader, go for it.
Your question.
One more on independence movement and Bollywood. So there was this actor. I'm sure if you watched any Bollywood movies from the 70s, you would know who he is. Or even from as late as, say, 2000. He was born in Pakistan, Lahore, if I'm not mistaken. Came to India, hardcore communist, he was part of the Bombay riots in the 1940s, during World War, when the Bombay port workers, largely led by the communists, tried to give a very, very tough time to the British. Then he got into Bollywood, did a lot of acting. In the 1990s, he wanted to go back to Pakistan. By the time he was pretty old, wanted to go back to Pakistan to visit home. But the Shiv Sena didn't let him do that. They called him anti-national and all of the regular anti-national things that someone gets called. He died broke and penniless. His son, who was I forget if he was a photographer or videographer, had to sell a bunch of his equipment just to keep his dad alive. But when the Indian film industry came to know of it, quite a lot of people gave funds for it, but ultimately he died broke and penniless. Who is this guy? Hardcore communist, Hindu guy, but who wanted to go back to Pakistan and wasn't allowed in the 90s, I think just after the Bombay riots and everything. So that was a major reason on why he wasn't allowed to go back.
The timeline is very interesting. 90s, okay.
Indian actor, hardcore communist, part of the Bombay riot, from Lahore, acted in the 70s up to the 90s and maybe the 2000s, died penniless.
Right.
And you mentioned Hindu.
Yeah. But he's a communist, but so.
Okay. In my head, I was thinking, was Dilip Kumar communist? But no, I don't think so.
No, but Dilip Kumar was Yusuf Khan.
Yusuf Khan. No, that's exactly what I said. When you said Hindu, I deflated immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. Adi, this is your field.
No, absolutely no idea whatsoever. I'm though thinking Lahore. And actually, I was fixated on the son being a photographer, videographer. So not a famous actor son then basically.
Yeah.
That does eliminate some possibilities because a lot of the famous actors from that time do have famous sons who are actors. Also died penniless. That is very interesting. Yeah. Do we know when he passed away? Did you mention that?
2012. Yeah. So he was 98 when he died. He was sick for the last 6-7 years of his life though.
No, I'll need a hint.
Yeah, same here.
A lot of movies with Amitabh Bachchan in the 1970s.
A lot of movies with Amitabh Bachchan.
Sorry, he was born in Sialkot, not Lahore. Yeah.
Sialkot is pretty close to Lahore, right? It's also in Punjab.
Interesting.
I'm a little confused. Okay.
I'm guessing it's not one of the it's definitely not a Kapoor, because those people appeared with Amitabh Bachchan famously.
But if I give you a dialogue of his, then both of you will get the answer immediately.
Okay. Then wait. Let me try it. I'm trying to get at it logically. So I'm guessing it's not one of the leading mans. It could be like an example would be like a Nirupa Roy, right? Like Nirupa Roy appeared with Amitabh Bachchan so much. So I'm assuming it's somebody like that. It's a man we are thinking of, somebody who appeared with him, but
wait a second. We are
in
sure he's a man, right?
Role.
Yeah.
He did say.
Okay.
So it could be. I'm thinking his famous movies. Who is like the villain? It's definitely not Amjad Khan again.
Pran or anybody, right?
No. Muslim, not Hindu.
No. Amjad Khan died very young.
Yeah, he died quite young.
Okay, another one is he did 16 films with Rajesh Khanna. I didn't know this. So more than Amitabh Bachchan, Rajesh Khanna. 16 movies with Rajesh Khanna. But his most famous film, I mean, the reason why all of us will know him is because of a movie he did with Amitabh Bachchan.
So now I'm thinking it's a Salim Javed film. It's Sholay. It's Diwar.
Shan.
Famous Amitabh Bachchan film. Famous character supporting it. Is it? Yeah, I'm thinking of one of the characters from Sholay is the only one that is more vivid in my memory. I'm trying to think of any Sholay character.
I'll give you.
Was he in Sholay? Let me just clarify. Was he in Sholay? But and then I won't give you the next clue. Oh wow, this is very interesting.
Okay.
So interesting. Died penniless, was born in Pakistan, wanted to go back, was prevented from doing it.
And prevented by the Shiv Sena.
Yeah. And during that time, I don't think he got any job roles as well. His character role kept going down and down until he acted in a movie about pre-independence India.
Pre-independence India.
Yeah. If I give you that too, it should be very easy.
I think you're overestimating my knowledge of Bollywood.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed that I don't know.
With Amir Khan.
I was just going to say Lagan sounded like the time frame.
Yeah.
Oh, this is that guy, the old guy in Lagan. What's his? I think I know his character's name. I'm forgetting. Something Kaka. He's something Kaka in Lagan.
Correct. If you can even give me the character's name from Sholay, but there is no name for him in Sholay.
He doesn't have a name in Sholay?
Yeah.
Because I think I can remember his face in Sholay also.
Yeah, but the dialogue is the most famous one, I think. It is probably second to only Kitne Aadmi The.
Oh, wait. That famous? So Sholay has so many great dialogues. Oh, okay, just give us a dialogue. I think I'll be able to tell you the name of the character.
Itna sannata kyun hai bhai?
Itna sannata kyun? Yeah, this is... isn't he a Kaka Chacha in that also? I think he has some Chacha in that also.
He's played Chacha in many movies.
In many movies. That's why I meant,
like it is that supporting character kind of vibe. Oh, I know this. This is A.K. Hangal.
A.K. Hangal.
This is A.K. Hangal.
He was a communist.
And he was one of the few Bollywood guys who fought for independence. He was 32 when 32 or 33 when India got independent, and he was a hardcore freedom fighter, and the way we treated him was horrible. Yeah.
That's a shame, but wow, what a
crazy
interesting
life.
History there.
Yeah.
And he has done like he's one of those character actors that has appeared in a bunch of films.
Movies. Yeah. I'm a little ashamed to say I don't know what AK stands for in AK Hangal. I just know it's AK Hangal.
AK Hangal. Even I don't know what that is.
Let us Google it.
AK Hangal is Avatar Kishan Hangal.
Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Born in Sialkot and lived his life in Mumbai. Okay, very interesting. Very
Imam
interesting.
Saab in Sholay.
Imam Saab. Isn't he some... I thought he was some Chacha in that.
Imam Saab, Imam Chacha. Basanti would call him Imam Chacha, and
Okay.
the rest of the village called him Imam
Chacha.
Saab.
Fair enough. Nice. Very interesting. Okay. Cool. I think, Vineet, it's your second question.
Okay, so again, I'm taking you back to the 70s, the late 70s this time. In August 1979, a married couple, Patricia and John Knatchbull being a two-time Academy Award nominee for Best Picture, survived a tragic boat explosion that killed several members of their family. My question is, whose boat was it? Or let me be a little more kind. In other words, who was Patricia's father? It was Patricia's father's boat. Who's Patricia's father?
What is the name? Patricia what?
Patricia and John Knatchbull, as in Knatchbull.
Knatchbull. I don't know her maiden name, I guess, to crack this question.
No, so my clues to you would be, it was 1979. It was a boat explosion.
Okay.
Who do you know who's, obviously, I won't ask you somebody who you've never heard of, obviously, right?
Sure.
So who do you know of, very famous, who died in a boat explosion? Like, how many people have you heard of who've died in boat explosions?
Apart
from movies.
Was her father a Bollywood producer, a Hollywood producer?
No.
It has to be a politician or a businessman. Politician. US politician?
No. I wouldn't technically call him a politician, but he has been a mover and shaker, let's just put it that way, in world politics, in history. You would find his name popping up throughout history, and his name is immortalized in one of the biggest events of the 20th century.
His name is immortalized in one of the biggest events of 20th century.
Yes. He was partly responsible for a huge tragedy. Partly. I wouldn't say completely, but partly responsible for a huge tragedy.
I'm thinking...
Again, my own biases might be informing my clues, but...
Oh, fair enough. This can't be any Nazi person.
Okay, I'll also kind of clarify, maybe it's not clear. It was an assassination.
He was assassinated.
Yes.
Okay.
So Patricia and John Knatchbull were on the boat along with a few other people, including Patricia's father. Boat blew up because of a bomb that had been placed on it.
So where was this boat? Did we mention where it was?
No, that would be telling.
Oh, that would be a clue. Okay, interesting.
That would be an immediate clue as to who this person was.
Guessing this would have been closer to Europe.
Yeah,
yes.
Sounds a European
Close
thing.
to Europe is pretty good. Yes.
And did you say the year?
1979.
I'll give you the date. It was August 27th, 1979.
Yeah, if 1979 doesn't help me, I don't think 27th August 1979 is going to help me. Okay, but 1979...
Onassis?
Oh, no. Let's just say much closer to home. You're looking for a name much closer to home.
Home and yet European. Then it has to be somebody British. Famous British name, home, comes to mind is always first, like Lord Mountbatten.
Lord Mountbatten, yeah.
Yes, it is Lord Louis Mountbatten.
He died in a boat explosion?
Yes.
Holy hell. Wait. Oh, this must be the Irish.
Yes, the Irish.
Sorry, not the Irish. The IRA. Rather, yeah. Oh.
So, for those who don't know, Lord Louis Mountbatten was Patricia Knatchbull's father and owner of the boat, in which on August 27th, 1979, the IRA placed a bomb. It exploded off Mullamore, Ireland, killing Mountbatten, age 79, Patricia's 14-year-old son, Nicholas, her mother-in-law, Dowager Lady Brabon, and 15-year-old deckhand Paul Maxwell. Patricia, her husband, John, who is also known as Lord Brabon, a two-time Oscar nominee for Best Picture, and their other son, Timothy, survived with serious injuries. Mountbatten, who was a World War II military leader, as well as relative of the British royals, was the primary target. To clarify on some of the clues that I mentioned, he was a mover and shaker. He was very closely associated with the British royal families. He was also responsible for, as I think one of the major military commanders of Eastern Theatre, of the Asian Theatre of the World War II, he was responsible for taking the surrender of the Japanese in Burma on August 15th, 1945. 44 or 45, I'm not exactly sure, but it was August 15th. I know this because despite the initial plan that the independence of India would be done in a phased manner in 2 to 3 years, it was during a press conference when he was asked, when do you plan to give India independence? He blurted out August 15th, 1947. And that was because August 15th was because of his own connection to that date. If probably the planning had gone on for a little longer, cooler heads might have prevailed and partition might not have happened so traumatically. So I do place a little bit of blame on Lord Mountbatten. Actually, a lot of blame.
You can a lot of blame.
Lot
on
of
me.
blame.
It's okay. Representative of the Queen in India, I don't think anybody is coming after you for blaming him for deaths happening. So
Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's also probably, if you look at the current King Charles III, if you could count the single most influential person in their life, it probably have been Dickey, or Lord Louis Mountbatten was also Dickey Mountbatten.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
He was a very
Cool.
influential figure in Charles's youth. If I'm not mistaken, his original affair with the current Queen consort, Mountbatten was instrumental in their original separation. You know, he kind of did pull Charles away from that. That was a huge thing. What's the Crown? He's depicted in that. I think Charles Dance, who played him in The Crown. It's been a very few years, but yeah, so definitely watch The Crown. Fascinating life.
All right, reader, why don't you take the next question?
So there's this one Indian state that has been formed because of rats. Yeah.
Okay.
Which state is that, and what's the history on rats, and that state is formed because of rats?
An Indian state was formed because of rats.
I'm guessing there is like a through line that connects.
I mean, like, that's the entirety of the question. There's nothing else for that.
Let's start from there. Rats. Is there... Okay, I'm just going to firstly throw this out. Is there like a long convoluted line from like the plague all the way to the state creation, something like that?
Yeah, but there is a plague, but there's no great plague.
Oh, not the bubonic plague.
Not the bubonic plague.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's start from the south. I don't think any Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. Nope. Going north, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. Most of these are linguistic divisions.
Yeah.
So I think I'm thinking of one of the smaller states, which leads me towards northeast India. I'm thinking is it one of the Seven Sisters?
Yeah, it is one of the Seven Sisters.
Okay.
Did our present national security advisor have anything to do with this?
No.
Okay. Thank God. No, with the statehood I'm talking about.
No.
Okay, so then it's on Mizoram.
It is.
Oh, what?
I'll tell you the connection. Durandar. Durandar comes to the rescue. Okay, so because I've been mentioning his name too much on the podcast, I'm just going to be calling him our national security advisor. Our national security advisor was posted to Mizoram when the Mizo National Front was making such a huge hullabaloo.
Yeah.
And he managed to get 6 out of 7 commanders of Laldenga onto his side.
Right.
By his form of diplomacy, and then Laldenga signed that whole thing with Rajiv Gandhi in Delhi. We've mentioned this on the podcast just after in the post.
We had a question about this.
We had this question. Right. So, if I remember my history correctly, the Mizo National Front was formed because of a famine.
Yeah. Why is that famine caused?
I'm guessing now rats.
Yes, but why? So it's rats and bamboos.
Wait, I know this thing about bamboos that they have a long duration between their flowering time and their
5 years.
Seed production time.
No, but bamboos flower like every 50 years or something, right?
No, they die every 50 years.
Oh, okay.
So that's
that's what I was thinking. 50 years. I was like,
So-
was it a cycle that it was
so
caught
they
in?
die every, so it's called, that whole ecological phenomenon is called Motam, where they die every 48 to 50 years.
Isn't it called the Motam famine or something? That's what the name
yeah.
is.
And so what happens during Motam is you have the Melacona bassifera, which is a bamboo species that flowers at once across a huge ass area, and the black rat love to eat the seeds. So the thing is, rats can birth up to 6 litters a year and 10 to 12 rats per litter. rats also reach sexual maturity in 5 weeks. So a population of 2 rats can become 1,250 rats in a year. And that is what happened in 1959. Mizoram, which was part of Assam, was completely ignored. And then the famine started, which led to the armed rebellion, which led to 20 years, 30 years of fighting. And in 1987, they became Mizoram.
So interesting. Wow. Wow. Just the random biological event transpired it. Oh my God. That's fantastic. I love it.
We've mentioned one portion of this.
Yeah. We've done the Ajit Doyle part of it. Yeah.
I've heard that we've been discussing Durandar too much. This has been a feedback that's been given.
Yeah.
So, listen, Vineet, your fanboying of Durandar is getting out of hand. Okay? First part I would have even acknowledged. The second Durandar, if you stand up for... Sorry, you need to...
No. I'm not gonna go on a rant here. Let's get it. But the Ajit Doyle, our present National Security Advisor.
I didn't know that connection actually. That was news to me. Yeah.
So when the MNF was going out of control, Lal Denga was stationed he was hiding out in neighboring Myanmar, but his commanders were in Mizoram. So Ajit Doyle was posted there. He went by I think the code name was Abu Dhabi or something. Dubai or Abu Dhabi or something was his code name. He set up a house there with his family, and he used to call these commanders over for dinner at his house. And he used to talk to them, and he managed to convert 6 out of 7 Lal Denga commanders to his side. So much so that Lal Denga was forced to come to the signing table. And then it was that historic thing in 1986 or 87 where he went to Delhi and Rajiv Gandhi, and he signed the accord, and then Mizoram was formed.
Fantastic. Wow, nice. Okay, I think the last question is mine. I'm going to ask Reader. You said you're a fan of sports in general. Cricket is your thing?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I might as well just sit this one out. Yeah.
No. See, knowing me, it's not going to be cricket specific trivia. Don't worry. But it's related to the world of cricket. Who's your favorite? Who do you support in?
The first 5 years were Bombay, and after that, now I just support Vaibhav Suryavanshi because that kid has completely changed the way we are playing cricket.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, all right. I barely know enough about cricket, but I also know how impressive that player is. But okay. What are your thoughts on Sarfaraz Khan?
If he manages to get his head on straight, he is going to be a crazy asset. But all that I've heard from my reporter friends are this guy is just too much of a nuisance in the team. That is the reputation or whatever. Hopefully his younger brother will do it. He's also been scoring very, very heavily.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, this question has to do with Sarfaraz Khan. And like you said, a cricketer has an interesting sort of a career arc so far. Not sure where he's going to go. His father is Naushad Khan. And Naushad Khan in an interview very emotionally acknowledged this one thing that Sarfaraz has done, which is associated with his cricketing career itself. That was to honor him. So Naushad Khan was touched by this act that Sarfaraz Khan did to honor him, his father. So what did Sarfaraz Khan do to honor Naushad Khan, his father?
Sarfaraz Khan do to honor Naushad Khan? Put his name on this bat as in place of the sponsor's name?
You're in the pun not intended, ballpark of the answer. It's not the bat, and it's not technically his name, but kind of.
Sarfaraz N Khan or something like that on the jersey?
No, again, you're very close. Jersey is much closer, and not the name, but yeah, you're very close.
Is it like the jersey number or something?
Yeah. What's his jersey number?
I have no idea.
Or maybe it's his birthday. Naushad Khan's birthday is the jersey number.
See, this is where Vineet, you should shine, because you know my love for these punny situations, and I guess this could be considered not a pun, but wordplay, I guess. No. You guys are going too technical. You're counting number. It is okay. I'm just gonna give you the answer. It is Naushad, like Naushad, Naushad. 97. The jersey number is apparently a reference to his father. So his father was very touched by this act. Though interestingly, Sarfaraz Khan is also born in 1997. So there is also that aspect to it. But yeah, no, okay. You know what? That was a nice little side piece of trivia. I'm going to do another very short one, and this is something that I've been asking in my quizzes recently. Vineet would remember we spoke about R.D. Burman and S.D. Burman a while back when we were talking about how their connection is to the Tripura royal family.
The Manikyas.
Yeah, exactly. In this case, I'm talking about another Burman. This is S.K. Burman, was an Ayurvedic practitioner back in the 1800s, the second half of the 19th century. Okay, in the mid 1880s, he formulated some medicines for diseases that were very devastating at that point, like cholera, like malaria. So some Ayurvedic medicines, and if not cures, definitely something that would help and ease the suffering of the people. He was doing a lot of this in Bengal at that point of time, and he would go around on a bicycle and help out not just the people who had the means to afford the treatments, but also the poor and the destitute people.
I know this answer.
Oh, reader has already cracked it.
I used to be a journalist for Forbes, not the business.
Okay, let's see if Vineet can crack it also. Business is a great starting point. Okay. So he would go around helping people, even the poor and the destitute, and on a bicycle. His presence over there actually led to a company. He eventually started something, a sort of business only you would call it at that point, though probably not as a business, more as just a service, but a business eventually. And this was because of his presence over there, the people's affection for him, that you and I know this business as today. So the question is, which business am I talking about?
S.K. Burman.
Yeah.
Ayurvedic practitioners, were formulated medications, went around selling them, eventually started a business.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I am thinking the only thing that comes to my, like off the top, the only one that comes to mind is Dabur. But I'm not sure like if it is.
Yeah, it is Dabur, and he was giving Chyawanprash to everyone.
Chyawanprash, yeah.
And Dabur is Dr. Burman because...
Oh, that I did not know.
Yeah.
So, famously enough, his name was shortened into the portmanteau of Dr. Burman.
Dabur.
So, that is how people referred to him. And eventually, when he started his company, he named it
that's why
Dabur.
That's why you mentioned Bengal. Da.
If anybody else, it would have been a Dober. So it's a Dabur because it was Bengal. Yes. So that is I believe the last question of this episode. I've been having a very fun guest episodes recently with a lot of trivia dense episodes. So thank you, reader, for bringing such a fantastic set of questions and for being such a wonderful guest.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
So before we wind up, there's the part of the audience question. And the audience question was, Al-Ward is a Middle Eastern celebratory drink made with pomegranate, rose water and carbonation. It is notable for being non-alcoholic, which makes it especially visible in a country where champagne is not used or at major celebrations. The drink often appears in media coverage around a major event held each year. Which country is it associated with and why does it stand out? Why does it appear in the media? So this was the question. Have at it.
Is it like because of Eid that it comes out?
No, not because of Eid. No.
It's in Turkey?
It's not Turkey. No.
Oh.
I specifically mentioned one particular portion where that it's especially visible in a country where champagne is not used at major celebrations. So where would you use champagne?
Champagne in France.
Champagne's from France. Yes. Sparkling wine from Champagne is champagne. But okay, let me put it this way. When would you use champagne for a celebration? What's the most visible use of champagne at a celebration?
Oh, and I can take a guess. This has to be the Middle Eastern country where there's an F1 race held.
Which one?
There are a few, right? Like I'm going to say Qatar maybe or Saudi. Saudi would also be.
No, they don't have F1s.
Abu Dhabi.
Wait, Qatar?
It's the Bahrain Grand
Prix.
Oh wait, I thought Qatar also had. Oh wow. Never mind. Okay.
Al-Ward is a Bahraini celebratory drink that's been closely associated with the most visible international sporting event held in Bahrain, which is the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's made from locally grown pomegranate blended with rose water and then made fizzy, giving it a very festive character without containing alcohol. Every year, this is used instead of champagne for the celebratory alternative at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Oh.
And do you know the history of this? This started in 1966 as an accident, where a Swiss driver accidentally sprayed the spectators when the cork of a sun-warmed bottle of Moet and I don't know how to pronounce that. The Moet and Chandon, whatever it is. It popped unexpectedly and it sprayed people. Since then it became a trend. They recently got the contract again from F1 to be the official champagne, because somebody else had come in and then now they came back. So it had been them for a very long time. Then the rights were sold to somebody else, and then recently in the last couple of years it has become the original champagne producers who are doing it again. But yeah, fun piece of trivia. All right. Okay. After that fun audience question, I'm going to move on to the social media audience question. And this, as usual, is a visual question. So check it out on Instagram or on Reddit whenever the episode is out. This will be out as well. You can try and answer it. The first person who answers it will be given a shout out. Okay, so in this case, let me quickly describe the picture. You have to identify the person who is indicated. And it is a picture of a couple of men standing around in army fatigues in an army uniform. And you have to identify who this person is. As a context or as a clue, I'll tell you that this person was serving in the army post 1963. That's when he enrolled in the army. So somewhere in the 60s or 70s, this photograph must have been taken. And we know him today more in a socio-political context. So who is this person who's pictured here with his army buddies in his army uniform, served in the Indian Army? Let us know in the comments. All right. Let's wrap it up with our pop culture recommendation. Reader, any music, any movie, any book, play, honestly, an Instagram page, of course, Reading Room India, top recommendation. But apart from that, anything you like to do, any newsletter. I think
we should recommend that again. We've recommended that like 4 or 5 times already.
Any excuse to bring it up. No, go for it. Your call.
Well, a little late on this because they are not new things, new books, but a couple of books that I've been reading is one thing is One Part Woman by Perumal Murugan. The thing is both the books I'm recommending are books written in Indian languages, but I've obviously read the English translations because I can't speak so many languages. So there is One Part Woman by Perumal Murugan, which is a beautiful story of a couple from pre-independence India in Kerala. And apparently the Malayalam version is beautiful. Like, his words are poetry. So if you can read Malayalam, you should definitely read it in the original language. And he's come out with 2 sequels for that. You know, it's a book about relationships, and the sequels explore what if scenarios. What if this had happened, and what if, basically from a man's POV and the woman's POV. I've not gotten to the sequels yet, but apparently they're also very, very good. And the second book is Gachar Gochar by Vivek Shanbag from Karnataka. Again, it's a book that shows, how rags to riches family grows and what happens when too much money comes in. And I'm not rich, but I know rich people, rich families that behave like this, and it's very, very good. But if you can speak Kannada, if you can read Kannada, you should definitely pick it up in Kannada as well. It's like Malgudi days, but very dark.
Malgudi nights, maybe.
You can finish that book in maybe 4 hours. But very, very good books.
Both these authors' name, of course, I've heard, but I have not, of course, encountered and read these books.
I believe Perumal Murugan is Tamilian. I don't think it's Malayalam.
Okay, sorry, my because I've read the English one, so but all all the recommendations also, or the one-liners that have come, he writes prose, he writes this, and I'm like, okay, that's not good.
Fantastic. Okay, great.
So Aditya, what are yours?
I always feel a little uncultured given how literary the guests are in our podcast, and even Vineet reads so many books. But hey, you know what? I'm a visual guy. I watch more stuff than I read. So I'm going to recommend a TV show, and the one that I'm going to recommend is called The Chair Company. It is absolutely bonkers absurd. I have no idea what chemical compounds were being consumed in the production of this, but it's hilarious. And the reason I was intrigued immediately when I saw it, because it's on Jio Hotstar, and I saw the poster and I was immediately intrigued. The reason was because I saw the face of the person who has created it and stars in it. That's Tim Robinson. Now, I don't know how many people are aware of Tim Robinson. Tim Robinson has a fantastic series of sketches. He did a sketch comedy show, and he has fantastic series of sketches. The first one I saw was on a reel on Instagram, and this was a guy going into McDonald's drive-thru and trying a pay it forward kind of deal where he's like, let me pay for the guy behind me. And then he goes around circles around because he expects the guy behind him to pay, keep the chain going. And he orders like a massive ton of whatever fast food items. And the other guy's like, hey, I'm not paying for that. He's like, you have to. The guy ahead of you paid for it. He's like, you're the same guy. It's just you. Sometimes you look at a work of art and you're like, I have no idea what was going on inside this person's brain, but it must be a beautiful mind scenario that's happening there. Tim Robinson is that guy, and the show is exactly like that. It's just, there's this one scene where he's chasing somebody, and it's like, it's this political intrigue. Literally, he's trying to run down this chair company, and they have some sort of conspiracy thing happening. I don't want to spoil anything more than that. Go watch it. But at some point, he's chasing somebody down in a building, and I kid you not, the next scene is him being forced to kiss another woman. Why this happens, you have to watch the show. In between the chase, he is stopped and he's made to kiss another woman before he can continue the chase. It is just a ridiculous show. Super fun. Watch it. And yeah, that's my recommendation.
Okay. So again, not to be a copycat, but then no one's specifically, ever accused me of being original. I'd like to recommend 2 books, again, in their native languages, for which translations have been appeared. One, which I have recommended before, which is Punny and Selvan. It is sprawling and just one of those kind of novels. It's multi-part novels, which you can just dive into and immerse yourself into it and kind of lose yourself. I really love it. Kalki's Punny and Selvan. The second one, which I have not recommended, may be controversial to some people, but it is widely recognized as a masterpiece of Kannada literature. But you can get the translation. A little difficult to get because I originally read it. I couldn't get a book. It was out of print. This was like around 10 years ago. I couldn't get a print anywhere, and I managed to finally get somebody to send me a photocopy from Delhi, from an archive. So the book is called Parva by S.L. Bhairappa, and it basically is a version of the Mahabharata written from a completely grounded perspective. The novel does not treat anybody as a god, as a demigod, or as mythological. There is no miracles. Everybody is human. All the characters, like Krishna is a human being, Bhima is a human being. They are highly intelligent, strategic, physically strong, but still human beings. And it explores like the human nature and politics and societal structures and matriarchy and patriarchy and all those things. It's a breath of fresh air kind of novel. There is a fantastic translation available if you can get your hands on it. 10 years ago, it took me a long time to actually get my hands on a copy, but it's well worth your time. So my recommendations for today are the Punny and Selvan by Kalki and Parva by Dr. S.L. Bhairappa.
And once again, a huge thanks to Reader for a phenomenal guest episode. One for the books, one for the reading room.
To everyone and everyone listening, go check out Reading Room India on Instagram. It is an inexhaustible font of daily trivia, which we are cursed not to be able to use because both of us read it. You're not hobbled by that particular limitation, so go ahead, please devour that page. It's well worth your time. Thank you so much for taking time out and spending time on this tiny pooky little podcast.
I enjoyed it. It was so much fun.
Feeling is mutual. So that's all there is. And thank you guys for listening in. We hope you all enjoyed the show. And if there's anything you want to let us know, please reach out to us on Instagram or on Reddit or at our email ID, which is areyoukquizzingme@gmail.com. Aditya posts Sunday quizzes every Sunday, obviously the name Sunday Quiz, on Instagram. And we also have some interactions on Reddit, and you're free to join. I don't know why, but my speed has gone completely awry, and I've rhymed now. So Aditya, why don't you just end this up because I can't stop. I can't stop.
I'll let you out of your misery.
Thank you, Reader, one more time, and hopefully we'll be having you back soon
on another episode of Are You Quizzing Me? See all of you guys next week. Bye-bye. No, I was wondering because it's Reading Room India if it should be Reader or Roomy or Indian. Is it too late for me to have a code name?